So, Art Carney was, he was more than just the character actor that everybody thinks of. Did you ever get to work with him? Did you have any memories of him?
I have a lot of memories of him, and he was. I met him one time. We hailed a cab at the same time in New York, and I stepped back and said, "Mr. Carney, please."
Yeah.
And he looked at me and he said, "You're a nice kid." And he shook my hand and got in the car. So that was the closest I ever got to working with him. But obviously from the Honeymooners, which, you know, I grew up watching the reruns of that show.
Yeah.
And it was pure comedy genius. But so many other films over the years, Harry and Tonto and Going in Style, were really, really brilliant, purely dramatic performances. And I often think that people sort of forget that in order to be able to do comedy well, unless you're a stand-up comic, you have to first and foremost be a really, really solid dramatic actor. And Carney was that. And he influenced many, many generations with his incredible work. I find myself in moments of needing inspiration, I will put on Harry and Tonto, because for me it's such a incredibly poignant, beautiful performance, and, you know, very nuanced, and so far from the Honeymooners.
Yeah. Well, because like you're kind of a heavy in Hollywood. I've seen you as like bad guys in multiple shows, and then like Harry Bosch, he's a hard-boiled detective.
Yeah.
But like, do you have any like secret comedy chops, or are you just like the drama guy?
Well, I think because of you know, the cornerstone of my career playing very intense, you know, serious guys, they don't want to let me out of the box and be funny. But there is buoyancy and humor to the character of Bosch. He's not a humorless character, but he's an anti-hero. He's a quintessential anti-hero and multifaceted, really interesting character to play. And I would say, of all the characters that I've played thus far in my career, he's by far the most
multifaceted
kind of incredible nonstop sustenance for me artistically, you know, and I'll play that character for as long as I can. Good. So yeah.
So are you guys shooting season 4 yet, or not?
Yeah, yeah. We are on episode 8 out of 10 in season 4. So we'll finish around the first week of December, and then I believe it's usually March, April when they release it. They don't really tell us until the 11th hour.
It's just one of those, hey, keep Tuesday open for you. It's the premiere.
Yeah, it pretty much is. I mean, I get to see the episodes in advance as they're being edited and put together. So I have a very, you know, strong sense, but I can't talk about it. All I can say is that I'm really proud of what we've done. It feels like a slight departure from what we've seen before, but a lot of really, really great stuff. Wonderful character actors like Paul Calderone, just to name one of many who are on the show this season.
It's a real murderer's row of guest actors you have on the show. Yeah,
and they're all, a lot of them, you know, ironically are good friends of mine, and so for me to be able to have that opportunity and that privilege to work with people that I've known and respected and loved for so long, that's the great caveat of doing this show.
Nice. So, are you presenting tonight, or are you just here as a guest?
I'm presenting to Xander Berkeley, who's an old and dear friend of mine and colleague. We've never worked together, but his wife, Sarah Clark, plays my ex-wife on Bosch. So, Xander, we would do FaceTime. Sarah would do FaceTime with her kids when we'd be working late, and Xander would come on to the FaceTime and say, "Oh, here's your other dad," in typical Xander fashion. Speak of the devil, here he comes right now. So I'm thrilled for him, because he's a national treasure as far as I'm concerned, and you know, an actor that I know has influenced and inspired a lot of other generations of actors, and he'll continue to do so. And I always say to him, I think we get better as we get older, because we sort of start to understand what it is, you know, what the hell we do, and it's not by accident.
So does Michael Connelly have, like, is he in the writer's room for Bosch? So he's like active.
He's on the set a great deal of time, and He's in the writer's room. He writes at least one script a season.
Oh, wow.
He oversees all of it. He's an executive producer.
Yeah.
He's very hands-on, and so he's he's the go-to guy. If I have any questions or if there's any deference, it's with Michael, and it's invaluable to have him there when I have an idea that is something that's not necessarily in the books or on the page, and he's given me it ain't broke, so there was no need to fix it.
Sure.
But Connolly really invited me to kind of bring my own imprint on the character, and was very receptive to very small ideas that I have. It was just sort of, because that character is so well defined, and there's no reason to deviate. If anything, I shuddered at the idea that the temptation would be to kind of sex it up and give him a cool car and dress him a certain way. And as you can see from the show, he drives an old beat-up car, and
he's married to his job.
And his clothing is very, it's stuff that comes off the rack, and he's a real guy, and that's the important thing for me, is that we keep him grounded and don't go into,
So whose idea was it to have you read the audiobooks for the show?
Well, that was Mike. They brought it to me. I just finished doing my 4th book, and we won an Audie Award for one of the books just this past year. And I just finished doing the new book, Two Kinds of Truth, which comes out on Tuesday, the 31st here. And it's great. And there's Harry Bosch at 64 years old, retired, but he's still working as a detective in the San Fernando reserves, and he catches a heavy case, and it's a fantastic book. So hopefully, in real time, I'll be playing this character in for another 10, 11 years, so we can realize those books as well.
Yeah, nice.
Yeah.
Good to talk with you.